Yep.
Cars need to order on November 10th, 2020. So we have Reverend Joshua Dunn. I'm going to go to what I usually go to. That's for sure. Could you lead us in the invitation?
That's great. I have about thank you again for another day. An opportunity to be in this place of actual lessons on us to be wise and smart and as you go to hear us and guide us. Thank you for all that you're here. As you bless us, home leaders, continue our Lord, let's say, in spite of all that we've done, we are trusting Christ in you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Burns. Here. Councilman Sharp.
Here.
Councilman Bradley.
Here.
Councilman Freeman.
Here.
Councilman Reynolds.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Julita. Now we move on to public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to come forward and comment at this time?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, would you stand up, please, sir? Mr. Mayor, and the town council, for the town of Ahoskie, for the population of Ahoskie, our mayor has been recognized as a trailblazer for the whole state of North Carolina in the business of North Carolina. I think we need to give him a standing ovation because he's already done. You probably have a copy. I'll give you a copy to the attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I thought he was going to get me out of here. Thank you so much. That was nice. Do we have another?
I'm not even around the first meeting. I just came after. And my comment was, CJ, I just want to let you know that because you got here. Some of y'all are aware of my issue, some of y'all are familiar with it. But anyway, it's the issue with the truck, my truck in my yard, my truck in my yard. Yeah, I rewrote the ordinance for trucks to not be parked in the residential parking overnight. Now, if my truck's not parked in my yard in the daytime, I'm within the I'm complying. So I'm having officers to come to my home. My truck is in the yard in the daytime. They're only there on weekends and do maintenance. You know, they go out during the week, come in on the weekend, we wash them, change the oil, that. Then they do up there from the time off and get it like that Sunday night. So I'm just trying to figure out, from my understanding, some kind of plan is trying to put in forth because of me having my truck in the yard in the daytime. And then clearly change the whole ordinance, but no truck to be allowed unless to parking on the road during the day, but overnight. And I'm complying, but what can I do about what am I, what am I gonna ask that question? What I wanna know is, my property where it is, I would let somebody had came up with to tell me I could rezone it to commercial, while we have this problem. Then when I called to find out, not to waste my money yet, because they don't know if that can be possible, because they don't know how many businesses come around. So I didn't know if that's an option I could have to do, because I'd rather do that than keep going back and forth with these officers coming to my house with all the stuff going on today. I don't know, with my mouth and officers, they might shoot, I'm ready for my life. I don't know what they have, because I'm tired of it. I mean, I'm in compliance, but these officers keep coming to my home, and I'm in compliance with the ordinance. And it's just me trying to make a living, and my truck been in the yard, just getting it from weekend. I bought another one this past week, it was there during the week, but just to get the tax on. Truck gone now, out to work. So, I mean, I'm just having these issues with the police, and I'm tired of it, like, it's stressful, If I haven't done anything illegal, why are you coming to my home to tell me my truck when I'm in compliance with the ordinance? So that's my issue.
What street
Hmm?
what street is it?
702 West Street,
702.
702 West Street, North West Street,
What kind of trucks are you talking about?
18 wheelers.
How many of them do you have cars?
They're not parked there, they come on the weekend with maintenance in my yard and out on the street. It's two there on the weekend. During the daytime, not overnight. But y'all can come up with a place up to park them when I first had the issue. So then the guy at the old liquor store started to park on his parking lot, and that's what we have been doing. The police knows we've been doing it because we've been parking there since forever. And but yet,
How many trucks are there off?
just two. My yard is big enough where it's not blocking nobody, it's not bothering nobody, nothing. I don't know, they're saying that they was complaining, but what they're possibly complaining about when I'm washing the truck.
So you bring your truck in and you wash, then you send them out to your car.
Yes, sir.
Or you get
Yes, sir. They're not here overnight. I'm in compliance with the ordinance. We don't rewrote the ordinance. Well, no truck to be parked in residential parking area overnight. On the street, it's not a fact, but see, my truck are in the street. They're in my yard. I'm on the corner lot. My yard not blocking nobody. They can't steal on the side because I got bushes going all around. So I'm not blocking nothing. Nobody's fight or whatever they're trying to see. I mean, you might want the truck to stay there because all these bushes, whatever they need to be worried about two trucks in the yard, and I'm in compliance. You walk past there every day. You don't see it?
I feel like absolutely
No,
not.
that's what we're going to discuss is, we have a match for public comment.
Yeah,
so we
yeah, I
can-
understand that.
so we have-
I understand that.
What is your name again?
LaShawn Weaver.
it.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other public comment? All right, so, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
If the board would consider setting an annual workshop day, y'all would consider to do that. I don't think that is reasonable.
the ordinance discussion, are we at this stage? Discussion, please.
I sign up to come back and meet.
Okay. Okay. Do we have, so the only addition that we have is the workshop. So is that? We have a motion to approve the agenda. Motion has been made, properly second to approve the agenda. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. At this time, I would like to ask our fire chief to come forward. Okay, would you like to-
I just want to, thank town council and thank, Fire Chief Mike Bradley and all the members of the fire department, the paid staff and the volunteer staff, that, they have done an awesome job, and I think to say it's an awesome job is an understatement. Fire departments get rated about every 10 years, and the fire department is rated by the North Carolina Department of Insurance. And we were a number 5 rated department. The lower the rating, the better the fire department. Our fire department went from a 5 to a 3, and has significantly improved the rating. And what I understand, you probably know the statistics better than I do, but I think it's only about 20-some departments, that's the number 1 department, about 20-some departments. That's the number 2 department. There's only about 40 departments, the insurance department is rated better than ours out of 1,500 departments statewide. That's not about right. So that's very impressive for a town our size to have a department that's this organized, this professional, and have pulled together to get this grade. And I think Mayor's going to present that to the official document to the fire. Mayor, thank you.
Maybe. So this is for the North Carolina Department of Insurance, fire marshal, certificate of fire district rating, inspections are conducted by officials of North Carolina Department of Insurance Office, state fire marshal, and required on a regular basis part of the North Carolina response rating system. Routine inspections assess proper staffing levels, insufficient equipment, proper maintenance of equipment, communication technology, and water source availability, amongst other things. This is the Ahoskie official rating. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, sir.
One, 2, 3, smile big. Mayor, don't smile big. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's perfect, Mayor. Good smile.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to the consent agenda. No second. Motion been made, proper second to approve consent agenda, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Now moving forward to, within the agenda, we have a resolution before us.
I'll let, that's okay, we'll let, that, flips the, fund this.
Following y'all's guidance in last meeting, we moved forward with selecting bond counsel to refinance the wastewater treatment plant. We received 4 proposals altogether. Gary, Patricia, Bradley, and myself looked over them, and we selected Sands Anderson, and we all have the contact in your agenda.
How much was the interest rate change?
We have not gotten bids yet on the interest rate, because we just.
law firms in multi-state, very highly rated. I know other people in different offices.
What is this got about?
Gonna save the town money. I think they have a cap. Table charge.
It's, I believe it's $9,750, I believe, it's $9,950 is the maximum, bill collector charges a total rate not to exceed the $9,950, plus mailing, copying, costs like that, UPS FedEx costs, and, so we had four, out of the four proposals, all four firms were competent, good quality firms, all of them can do it. And so this is the best price, by a noticeable amount. The other ones, again, is about $25,000 by the service. So, they're good quality firm, and this is the first step in moving forward to, they will help us and assist us and get the actual quotes so we can come back and tell what the interest rate's gonna be. We expect to be able to save at least 1.5% interest. When you talk about 1.5% interest on $10 million, it's $150,000 a year. It's not going to take long to cover our cost of it. Or never cost much.
We need to give, time manager approval to go ahead with, what we're looking for.
We're looking for two things. One, for the council to approve the contract with Sam Anderson, and two, to give the staff the authority, staff makeup, and finance officer the authority to sign the paperwork, what we can sign to move forward with doing the deal. Now, understand, let me give you the upside and the downside of this whole refinancing deal. Okay? Refinancing this is, no, thank you, I'm sorry, I'm taking over the presentation.
Go for it.
Now, if you get the nuts and bolts of this loan right here, which we currently owe $8.4 million on, and this loan here, 1.1, is actually owed a little over $9.5 million. That was as of July 1st. Because the payments due June 1st, these two are still accruing interest on those loans. So it's a little over $9.5 million right now. And these are the two loans for our Westwood treatment plant. We put that amount of money, we'll bundle it together. You notice up here, these are scheduled to be paid off in 2051. So it's 31 more payments due on the Westwood treatment plant. These two add together to a total of $562,000 a year payments, all due June 1st of each year. We want to do a couple things with this refinancing. One thing is we can drop the interest rate. This is 4.8. This is 3 point. It's like 3 and I think it's 3 5/8. I think is what it's at. But I know this is about 4.8. We should be able to drop that somewhere around close to 2.5%, more or less. We won't know until we actually get the actual bids in, but we have to have a bond council to go get the actual bids in. Once we get those in, we can know where it is. The thing is, we go out, the federal government holds these notes right now. The federal government will finance for us for 40 years. We'll have to take this, the federal government will not refinance debt. We have to take it to private market. We have to take somebody like PNC, BB&T, Goldman Sachs, somebody like that, Wells Fargo, somebody like that would actually refinance that and actually take the debt off. When they do, the longest any of those will finance to a municipality for real property is going to be 20 years. So we're going to cut 11 years out of this. Instead of having 31 payments or 31 years left, we will have 20 years. with cutting the interest rate back by, where, if we calculate 2.5%, and right now, we have to collect 1/12 of that payment each month, and we stick in our checking account. Our checking account only draws about 1/4% interest. Checking account don't draw nothing right now. We sit in our checking account, draws 1/4% interest all year long until we get June 1st. We pay that payment, you know, and it's, so we still accrue interest at that. By refinancing, it's going to allow us to do monthly payments. That in and of itself, plus the reduction in the interest rate, is going to save us a tremendous amount of money. The actual cost of the debt payment annually, instead of being $562,000, it's going to be somewhere around $600,000. Our actual debt payment is probably going to go up by about $40,000 a year, depending on what the final interest rate is. But you pay an extra $40,000 per year for the next 20 years. That's $800,000 we'll pay additional. Then you don't have to pay $560,000 for 11 years. This would be a net savings of about $5.4 million.
Okay, say, what is $5 per month, per year?
Per year, the debt payment is going to go up by about $40,000 per year, depending on what the actual interest rate is.
Now, that's gonna increase our outcome at $40,000 a year, on top of what we already said. Correct?
The debts we've already paid off down here, we use that money that we were paying toward these other debts to go against that, $40,000.
Already paid off, so I'm not spending just $40,000.
Right. We were spending, down here, money to put against the principal of these other debts. And we were paying these debts, we don't have to pay these debts, so that money we're paying toward these other debts we've already paid off, the nine debts we've already paid off. We can take that money and move it right over into pay this $40,000.
So have we already spent the money we saved?
Nope. We spent some of it to snowball paying some of these other debts. For example, we paid extra on this sewer rehab project right here last year. You notice this, a year ago, was over $1 million.
How much is it now?
$680,000 what we have there now. So instead of paying, you know, we're paying more off to get this paid off. Instead of paying this off early, we take $40,000 of that and fill these debts and combine them.
And that's for how long?
20 years. So we already have payments that we're already locked in to pay the $562,000 for 31 years.
How much are we paying on that board?
It's about $250,000 a month, and it averages for some months we don't have debt payments, because most of our debt payments get set up on an annual basis, and there's some like May, June, and October, September, we have a lot of payments due in those months. But it averages about $250,000 a year.
What is our debt on that board, but we pay that, we had cash and pay our off?
What, I didn't cook what you
What's
said.
the total amount that we owe on that board right now?
As of June 30th, 2020, the amount is $17,872,000.
That's June, so it should be.
Tiny bit less than that right now. I know we've made a payment on that loan. I think that one, which Trish was in here, she told you exactly which one we made on. I know we made eight payment on a couple ones, but there's nothing we paid off right yet. So here's the thing. This really ain't gonna help the short term, but this is gonna make a massive difference in 20 years from now. We got a wastewater treatment plant out there that's state of the art. That is a great facility. But in 30 years from now, it's gonna need a lot of rehab, it's gonna need a lot of, upgrades in 30 years from now. It's not gonna last forever. If we're paying $562,000 a year for the next 30 years, as soon as we get that paid off, we're gonna be already having to start a project to rehab that plant. If we can do this, and we can get this paid off by 2040, we've got 10 years to save some money up, to have something to work with, to be able to do some rehab on that plant, to get in a position so we're not taking out huge loans and continuing this process. The idea is getting in front of this process instead of being behind the ball. But this year is not really short term helping you, but this is us looking down the road and doing what is the long-term best thing for the citizens.
If we went with this program, we found out that we just pay it off, pay more, we do that.
Yes,
So then,
there's no early, there shouldn't be, and we'll make sure if we get into the details of it, there's no early penalty for paying, early payment on it. And there's none of the loans up here in this right now, there's none of the loans we have that is an early penalty for paying early. Because any of these loans you pay early, it does take the interest off of it. Pay it early. But we won't have the actual numbers until you hire bond counsel. We get out there and we advertise the bonds and get the numbers back in and ready to refinance it, then you have the actual number. And who knows what interest rates are gonna do in a month and a half from now.
So if we have the actual numbers and don't like what we see, what are the options?
And we're out $9,950 at the maximum.
once you get started, you gotta take this.
Yeah, but you don't have to move forward refinancing it, but you do have to pay the bond counsel for their time that they spend going through the process. But if we decide to stop the process at some time, we're just out the money that we paid the bond counsel, and they guarantee us their cost will not exceed $9,950.
If there's any part of our budget that we can afford to do that, we can do it. Might make it part of the budget. So that we come out of the plant. Do that,
No, this whole discussion is 100% water and sewer. There's no part of this is general fund. This is all water and sewer discussion.
Don't you really make a decision tonight?
The long run, long term, in the long run, it's not going to be critical.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. It will be beneficial in the long run for our tenants and our citizens. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but, I mean, if you look at it long term, you have to think about what you're actually going to be saving in that 11-year period that you won't have that payment.
There's several of us that won't see the end. You
Yeah,
might
some of us won't have to see it.
I know what you're talking about.
So it sounds like we need a promotion.
I make a motion that we go ahead with the necessary paperwork and information.
Is that for the accepting bond counsel and the resolution to authorize signing?
Excuse me. I can't hear. Once you have a conversation, but you're going to be like, you can do it outside. I'm sorry.
Okay. Make a motion that we accept both parts as necessary to go ahead with this documentation. So the two parts.
Okay. Motion has been made, properly second to move forward with the with approval of the application? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have the determination of date for January workshop.
Do y'all have a specific day of the week that y'all want to? I know sometimes y'all want to do on Saturdays and sometimes you do on Fridays.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
The last Friday of the month.
That would be the 29th. Anybody have an objection to the 29th?
Motion.
Your fire department? And let me jump right into the controversial question, what time do y'all want to get started?
Sometime you get there.
Yes, sir. Everybody come, bring something, but it's got a dish.
I'm not sure I'll get the presentation with paper.
Individually wrapped, yes.
January 29th in the clock.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. So you said 2? 8:30? 8:30, I heard 8:30.
Eight's good, I look visually. Eight's good, I look visually.
Sometimes I'm glad I can't see you. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Friday, 29th.
8 a.m.
Friday, 29th at 8 a.m. Real estate, this Thursday. Okay. Anything else we need to determine for the workshop? And,
Y'all
I'm
have
not
a
doing a
specific,
tour this year.
y'all have a specific topic y'all want, let me know. We'll try to get on the agenda organized and keep us on track. Depending on the weather, we might try to schedule a date right into the pool, the water treatment plant, and we get everybody out to see that facility. That's what I think. Yeah, no, if it's real cold, I don't think I'm gonna be out there. That can be extreme cold. And, yeah,
Anything else? Staff reports?
anything, sir?
Yes. Just want to let you know we're actually, allowing one hiring right now. Before the hiring in the next 2 weeks. And we have the other package. So we'll be looking at, on board. Hopefully, we can try to do it. But January is off, they actually get to,
So the $2,500 might be helpful.
yes, sir, and we're about 6 hours. As of right now, 6.
Do we need that now?
6.
You Brad?
No, we don't.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What's a good intent call?
A good.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, me?
Yeah.
If somebody calls, like the smoke detector going off, the battery's gonna need a smoke detector, or they have a CO2 detector goes off, we go around the gas meter to check, make sure everything's okay. And if we call, we get a cat out of the free. Like that's in the drones. I'm thinking about buying, so I wonder if I can get you, but I need.
Actually, we've had 2 phone calls from citizens, but when I went to look at these trucks. So we feel sorry for the poor little kids that lost the drone. When we didn't get it home.
Just, on this helicopter standby, I mean, if you guys go out there, you get trucks out there, on average, how long does one of those calls take you?
Short, sometimes on average, we get an hour and a half, sometimes it can be up to 3 hours max.
And how many people, do you have?
Just one.
Chief, do you have officers that?
Officer there, so.
For the hills.
When he has to go out to that helicopter, but. jump-
No, sir, not generally. We have in the past had a few issues, where we've had to request law enforcement, due to people trying to get to the helicopter or whatever. That was addressed pretty well, so we were blessed when they come out pretty quickly.
I'm thinking, yeah, then the other day where, the young man was walking towards the helicopter. Lady,
Yes, sir.
and it looks like you got 21 calls, just the last report.
Yes, sir.
That means the choppers coming in there, we paying our fire trucks to sit out there for 1 or 2 hours, sometimes straight. And so are you averaging 21 calls a month?
No, sir, actually, that's the lowest numbers we've had since January, being around 40.
A month?
Yes, sir, our calls were actually down the month of October, lower than they had been all California. We're not complaining.
A lot of sitting around.
Yes.
I'm just going to do an board and we have rented the park to relay for life next Thursday night, the 19th. They're coming to a candlelight visual that night. And the relay for life. November, let's say, I might be January, I'm sorry, but, November the 19th, next Thursday night, 9 days from now.
November what?
19th. And they're planning on doing candlelight visual.
What's that?
They're gonna start, I think, we're gonna start putting them out in the middle of the afternoon, I think, try to have them from like 5:30 to 8:30, I think, it's 5:30 to 8. They have requested, they're asked that we open the gate at Hamlin Street. But that is not something we have done for anybody else that's running the park. And I know it kind of stirs up a lot of those citizens on Hamlin Street, so, the board has, wants us to, we're not planning on opening the gate at Hamlin Street, so I want us to, I feel like we would do that for, but they will, I feel like trying to Hamlin, so. They want people to go in there, go out, and
We thought that's what we actually last, as of right before the evening, they said they didn't mind still coming in from Evans, leaving out of Evans, to be last year. Have some volunteers up to the big event.
okay, I had talked to her today, I talked to her yesterday, so I just want to make y'all aware that that's not something we ever done. I would just be concerned about opening that as a precedent, and start doing that for anybody that's part. That's all.
Do you have any feedback from specialists or public works? We're good.
We focus on everything, focus on.
All right. Any comments from the council?
Thank you, Steve. You know about Friday, that's what we had passed. Where do we have that?
They told me that everything that they cut from the bridge, they told me that they split from the time they want to cut some more from the brown side. They told me that everything, I know that that's some out there. So they cut some of that really not big enough to get very far. They can do 2 passes on, it, that's all they can do, that really just don't get very far out. It's one that's mounted in the center of the back of the tractor, and just really don't get, it's kind of hard to get over the guard with.
Did the city get a response? A couple weeks ago, we had request to,
No, we actually made a request that we spray it, and we're planning on spraying it in the spring. If the growth retarded, that's gonna keep it, slow the growth on that down, and we'll see how that's gonna work. The people that sell it told us not to spray it for the spring, but it wouldn't have, it wouldn't get your full effect for that chemical until, if you put it out right now, it's full boil. So I said, we'll wait for the spring, it starts to grow, spray it, then set it, and you get a better result with that. Should the growth there. It's kind of a long-term plan, we're trying to go after that growth.
Is there any reason why it gets so long before we attack?
No, we can go after, I mean, this is really the DOT responsibility, and we just do it as a courtesy, because they're not getting to it. If y'all, if you start doing this more regular thing, you know, there's a lot of traffic out there, and so we try to come in at night to do it, it's just a hassle to do it, but we'll, if y'all want it done, we'll make it happen. So, y'all want to go over the schedule, we'll make it happen.
Also, trees, small trees that are growing, all of that, as well. After those need to come down, because if not, I just think it not only look better, but eventually they'll grow even taller and it could be a real problem.
I'd like to see it put it on our regular schedule.
So,
I understand it's DOT, but it's like, talk about that. We constantly, every quarter, wherever we enter, like, it's put on schedule.
It's tough, right?
yes.
That's a good deal at night.
Yeah. It's a bit, right, and on one side of it, and like, over here.
The DOT had on their schedule for 2025, and that's where they run into all the financial issues they run into the last year. So I don't know what the new schedule is on that. They have pushed a lot of things back, so I do not know what their current schedule is on that. The last time was the current financial problems they had, it was 2025.
But it's subject to be that's what it is.
I can neither confirm or deny, so.
Before we adjourn, I want to add one thing, King, I got earlier, I'm working with New Airport program with Biden. On November 19th, from 11:30 to 12:30, they're going to be giving away fresh 575 boxes. It's going to be located right beside 100th Street on Home. So I got Friday, I want to share that. It's going to be, I think, really good opportunity for the community, or just the center location. Put in a location where people can actually walk through the community. So, Hereford County Community Health Worker. So with COVID, they have a community health worker that helps with food, transportation, things of that nature. And Crystal Dempsey is the contact that I've been working with on this. She's been doing a lot of help there, and she's pretty much coordinated this. So November 19th at that lot beside us, 11:30 to 12:30. Any more comments before motion to adjourn? Motion made by second, all in favor? We adjourn.
I